Good afternoon all. Time to open some post, I think. It's Postbag. And this one is plain model accessories. It's a cell meter. And more specifically, it's a cell meter 8. So it can do 8S batteries. In other words, a battery with 8 cells. It's a battery voltage capacity checker. So it shows the voltages of all 8 cells. It can do 3 different types of batteries: lithium-ion polymer, and lithium-ion phosphate. Doesn't seem to do the high voltage cells. I think these are different only in that they're 3.7 and 3.6. Lithium-ion phosphate is nominally lower than that. I can't quite remember what it is. NiCads and nickel metal hydrides, they don't particularly interest me. It's also a servo tester. I probably won't be using that functionality. But it does do discharging, and it also says it does balance discharging. Right, the top half of this manual is Chinese and the bottom half is English. So to make life easier, let's just look at the English bit. Right, I think what it's trying to tell me is that I can either plug in a 3-pin power connector, or I can just plug in the balance port of my 8-cell battery pack. So I think I'll just go and get that, plug it in, and see what comes up on the display. Right, here's the 8-cell battery from my electric bike. This is 8 lithium-ion phosphate cells, so LiPo4, Li-Fi04. So let's plug this in. Now, negative is that end. I think that corresponds with this. Yeah, I've marked a plus and a minus on there. So negative goes in there. Let's see what happens. And it powers up. And it's telling me the total voltage is 26.64 volts. Not sure what 1% means. It seems to be implying that it's 8 cells. It's set for LiPo, but I don't want it set for that. I want it to be set for Li-Fi. Okay, so that's now saying, oh, I see what it means. 63% charged. That would be about right, because I did go for a couple of miles ride on it. And I've not charged it since because I wanted to play with the discharging function of this. So if it's a LiPo, it's completely empty. Lithium ion, it's saying it's got 2%, but lithium ion phosphate, it's about half charged. That would be about right. Now there's a little flowchart here which says that you press and hold the type button for 1 second and you can go into all these menus. They're a bit small, so let's just get on and do it. Right, press and hold type. And it says discharge voltage 3.7. Now, is that discharging to a storage value? That's not right for Li-Fi, is it? What's that? ppm 50H. I don't know what any of this stuff is. More reading required. Oh, right, it looks like these are just general setup settings. That's the frequency for the servo, 50 Hertz, I think that is. The high and low values for the servo, so 500 microseconds and 2.5 milliseconds. I think nominally it's 1 millisecond to 2 milliseconds, but you can set them sort of lower and higher than those nominal values. LED T30. What's that? LCD backlight opening time setting. Okay, the amount of time that the LCD backlight is on, and it's on at the moment. 30 seconds, beep is on. Yeah, might as well stick with that. And back to here. 3.7 for lithium iron phosphate. Is that a good balance charge voltage? It sounds a bit high to me. I'll look it up. Well, it looks like the nominal voltage for lithium iron phosphate is 3.2 or 3.3. So I guess we could put the storage voltage to that value. So let's press and hold that. How do I do this? Oh yeah, that's coming down. So let's go down to, I don't know, 3.3 and see what happens. 3.3. Do I just wait? Probably do. We'll press that perhaps. Has that done it? Let's cycle round. Yeah, that seems to have remembered it. 3.3 volts. Good. Right, it seems that I can look at any particular cell by pressing the cell button. So that's cell 1, 2, 3, etc. And a quick press of the mode button, it goes back to displaying the total voltage for all 8 cells. Right, short press the mode button and it shows the highest voltage cell, 3.337 is cell 3. Press it again and it goes to min, that's the lowest cell, 3.322, which is cell 2. Press it again and it shows the difference between max and min. It's not a huge amount, but it shows the two cells which are the lowest and the highest. And then again, and it returns to showing the full pack voltage. The manual does warn you that once you've done a discharge and or a balance, you should disconnect this unit because it draws power from the first two cells. So if you left it on there, it does give you an alarm when it's finished balancing. If you left it on there, it would start to discharge cells 1 and 2 more than the others because that's where it's getting its energy from. So I think what I'll do is I'll just leave this in balanced discharge mode, so it'll take all the cells down to the same voltage as that of the lowest cell and just see what the effect is. I'll leave that going, and if during this video it beeps, well, we'll see what it's done. Right, for the discharge mode and the balanced discharge mode, you press and hold mode. It beeps and says discharge, shows all 8 cells. Then after a while it starts showing each cell in turn, but it doesn't really indicate any more than that. I think discharge means that it's discharging all the cells to whatever voltage you set in the setup. I've now lowered that to 3.2. And I think if you press it again, it shows the max min flashing. And that, I think, means that it's now discharging all the cells to the voltage of the lowest cell. But it doesn't tell you which is the lowest cell. So this mode, and of course this should be getting warm in discharge mode, and it's getting mildly warm, but not a lot. So I don't know what current it's discharging at. This could take quite a while, and it's not really easy to see what's going on. I think you get out of this by pressing either that, no, maybe not that, or that. Yeah, that seems to have got out of it. Oh, I've changed the cell type now. Lifey. Yeah, we're back to the pack voltage, and it's not flashing anything, so I don't think it's discharging. Yeah, it's a bit tricky to use in that mode. Right, so here we go. Press and hold. It beeps, says it's discharging. Press again to go to this balanced discharge mode, where it should take all cells down to that of the lowest. And I think 2 was the lowest, wasn't it? So 3.317. 3 was the highest, 3.334. So we can see after a while whether it's balanced those up. So on eBay, this is the item I bought. It's the RC cell meter 8128S LiPo lithium ion nickel metal hydride battery capacity voltage checker meter. This was $8.54, or it is $8.54, free shipping, and that was from Electric 1688. Right, next up is this one. Let's take a look at what it is. And it's a glue pen. Yeah, I saw this being sold, I think, by Alice, or the CZB Alice counterpart, and it just looked really intriguing. It's a glue pen that comes with a little torch which has an ultraviolet, I think it's ultraviolet or blue LED. So I can switch the thing on. Oh, well, that doesn't... Oh, that's broken. That's really annoying. What have I done? Oh well, that all adds to the fun, doesn't it? We'll have to take this thing apart now. Take a look inside to see how badly made that switch is. It's almost certainly just a mechanical method of attaching the LED leg to the battery that's inside here. Where's the battery? There is no battery. That's ridiculous. There's no battery. Right, well, I assume that this would normally have a lithium cell, but I think the sellers are getting a bit twitchy about sending lithium cells through the post, so they're not fitting them in these things. But that's all right, because I can put my own battery in there. I think it's that way around. And this is, yes, this is ultraviolet, so I can't see that very well. But yeah, ultraviolet. So let's see what happens if I stick a bit of glue on, this will probably work, this piece of wood. From the dropper, which is there, and then there's a little rubber cover, and see how long it stays liquid, and then try and set it in 5 seconds with the little ultraviolet light. So let's squirt some glue on here. So you just squeeze this, it's kind of rubberized. There's a little blob of glue. That's pretty liquidy. Let's put the cover back on there. Try not to stick it all over me. And I'll just leave it for a while without shining the light on it. I'll get a cocktail stick so I can stir it a bit. Right, so that took about 30 seconds, and that's still completely liquid. So actually I'm going to get the camera in a bit closer. So probably up to a minute or so now, and there's no sign that that's setting. That's still completely liquid. So let's get the LED and shine this at it. Now, which way around is this? Is it that way? Yes. Yes, that's emitting ultraviolet. Shine that on there for, well, it says 5 seconds, doesn't it? Actually, I suppose I should be directly above. Is that starting to go hard? Nope. Just keep shining the ultraviolet light on that glue. You can just see the reflection of the UV light, but I don't know how long that's supposed to be. This does say 5 second fix. Right, has that gone hard? It might be starting to, but no, nothing yet. Well, I'll just keep going. Never look directly at the UV light. It can cause eye damage. Do not use the UV light for more than 10 seconds. Each use belongs to group 1, blue light, blah, blah, blah. Well, I think it's supposed to work within 5 seconds. The UV light will bond 5 second fix, approximately the size of a pea within 5 seconds. Well, it's still a bit liquidy. I think it might have gone solid underneath, but it's liquid on top. So I think it's going to need a bit more 5 seconds. So here we go with some more 5 seconds. I'm kind of directing it and moving it to try and get this to bond. Right, that should be about 5 seconds. Let's try that. No, it's still liquidy and sticky. So maybe it only bonds if it's a very thin layer. Let's spread it much thinner. Some of it's bonded, you can see some of it's gone hard. Let's spread it thinner and see if that bonds. Well, I'm not impressed so far. Right, that's on. Lots more 5 seconds UV light. I'm looking at this now through the camera, and as the screen of my phone cannot emit UV light, well, I'm protected, aren't I? Because I'm not looking directly at it. Right, that should be plenty of 5 seconds. What's happened there? Still sticky. Oh, does this stuff actually work at all? Oh, this says 2 CR1620 3-volt batteries. Now, are they going to be in series? We're just going to get that light very bright. It says included, but they weren't. Yeah, maybe it shoves 6 volts into that LED. Perhaps I should shove 6 volts into it. Well, it's certainly brighter with 6 volts, but of course the internal resistance of the 1620 cell will be probably higher than this pair. But oh, that's bright. That's very bright. No more than 5 seconds, probably because that LED is going to get really hot. But let's give it a good old blast. Right, is it hot? No, it doesn't seem too bad. Right, has that set? Oh yeah, that feels much more solid. That's not... Yeah, so that's why they had the warning, don't do for more than 5 seconds. Yes, you need a lot more UV to get this to set, but that looks like there's no liquid there left at all now. Well, then it works. So let's have a close-up look at that. That does seem to... There seems to be some sort of liquid on the surface, but the bulk of this has gone completely solid. So yeah, maybe it does work, and you just have to put that extra power through the LED. Yeah, it kind of works. But pretty annoying that this thing doesn't come with the batteries, because actually it's quite difficult to work out how to arrange the legs of the LED. I'm pretty sure the bent leg of the LED sits in here against that switch. It would have to go there, and then when you slide the switch, it kind of pushes that LED leg up onto the batteries. But yeah, annoying that it doesn't come supplied with batteries. Probably better buying this sort of thing at your local pound shop where you would get the batteries with it. If you take the top off this thing, you can see that it's just one big sort of pipette sealed plastic thing, which is slightly flexible, and that enables you to squirt the glue out of the nozzle on the end if you press on that. Probably best to keep that little rubber. There's a lot of flashing everywhere. It's not very well made. Keep the rubber end cap to stop it leaking out when you're not using it. Oh, I've just pressed it really hard. Is that going to have squirted off the rubber cap? No, it didn't. That's okay then. But that doesn't fit very well. Yes, and then that just fits over there and provides a little receptacle for the torch, which doesn't have any batteries. Right, so this one is DIY quick 5-second glass welding compound glue UV light fix liquid repair tools. It was only $1.48, free shipping. Now this came from CZB 672-1960. Just going to scroll down to see if there's anything about not being supplied with batteries. And yes, down here in the description it says, notice number 3, item will come without battery for safety. So this says it has two CR1620, and I was looking at one of these pound shop selections of lithium cells, and it's got 2016, but I think 2016 means 20 millimeters diameter and 1.6 thickness. So 1620 would be 16 millimeters diameter and 2 millimeters thickness, and certainly that is not going to fit in that circle. So no, these 1620s are probably impossible to find. So this is a bit useless really. Right, should we have one more? This is really heavy, so let's take a look. Oops, I think I might have cut something there. Oh, come on, I have to cut it again. I think I blunted my knife because I was scraping those lithium cells the other day. Come out. And it is flexible gooseneck USB Type A extension leads. Awesome. So the reason I got these is for when I'm trying to attach a power monitor to one of these solar panels, and typically these sun power solar panels, typically you have a little pouch which has the box in there. Actually, if I flip this over and put some light in it, we might be able to get that light to come on. Yeah, there it is. So there's the little box from which you can draw the power. This one has two USB sockets, but often it's in such an inconvenient place that you've got to put an extension lead in to then attach your power monitor. So I thought I'd get some of these extension leads, which are just about the right length, about a foot long, I guess. You can twist them into different shapes. You can also, I've noticed, put a half twist in them in case the front of this doesn't happen to line up with the USB in there. So they should be ideal. Now the question is, how thick are the cables in here? I'm going to find out how much these were, and if they were cheap, I think I'm going to have to destroy one just to see how thick the wires are inside. Right, so this is the issue. I want my solar panel here, but I also want to be able to see this. Now, can I get enough? Oh yeah, there we are. It's lit up. Oh, only just. It was only about 3 point something volts. But yeah, that's the issue. I want to get that to come on. Let me just open the blinds a minute. Right, there's a bit more light in here now. Ah yes, and we've got 5.3 volts. And that's not switching on and off. So yes, it's just so that I can get... Oh, it is switching on and off, probably because I'm blocking the panel with the little meter. Yeah, just so that I can bend this gooseneck into such a position that I can film this the right way around. That's what I wanted it for. And right on cue, the sun's actually come out a little bit and is on my desk, so I've plugged a little light into there. Can I get enough sun on this panel? Yes, that light's come on now, but the display has gone off. How odd. But yeah, that little LED torch head is lit up. Just. Right, $2.29 each. I mean, I really do hate destroying things for no good reason, but this one is important that we know what these wires are like, so let's cut them. Wow, that's pretty hard. Well, certainly the metal coiled springy thing is really thick. I'm having a devil of a job to uncoil that in order to get enough wire out. Is that the coil? Yeah. Oh, actually that doesn't seem as thick now. Oh no, that's the casing. That's the it seems that there are two pieces of metal. One is the actual spring and the other one is this sort of filler to fill the gaps in the spring. Wow, that's actually quite amazing. So if I take that off, then I can separately grab my pliers on the spring and hopefully uncoil that. That's proving much harder because that's really thick metal. So what I was hoping to see is the black and red, which I presume are the 5 volts and ground, to be substantially thicker wire than the data lines, which here are white and green, but it doesn't look like they are particularly. Let me peel the strands of the outer coating of these back and just see how many copper strands there are. Right, so there's the black one peeled back. It looks like it might be 7 strands. It might possibly be 13. Let me splay those out a bit. Well, I can only count 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Looks like 10. That's an odd number. Certainly not a symmetrical number of strands. Okay, let's do the same with the green or white and see how many strands they have. Well, that looks to be the same. There's the white one uppermost. Can't get that close to it. But that also looks like about 10, doesn't it? 1, 2, if I could get it in focus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, probably about the same. Certainly the red and black don't appear to be any thicker than the green and white, which is a bit of a shame. But then maybe there's enough copper there on the black to actually transfer a reasonable current. What does it need to be these days? I mean, it really needs to be 2.5 amps. And now that I've destroyed this, I figured, well, I might as well cut this plastic case right off. It's quite deep there. And just see what it looks like inside. If I can get that black rubbery plastic off, I'll have a go at that for a moment. Right, well, I don't think I'm going to get very far here because I've managed to rip all the pins out of the socket there, and this plastic stuff is completely bonded around the pins and the wires, and this springy thing, it's just proving very difficult to cut into this. I don't think it's going to happen. So a simple, quick and dirty test with the flexible extension, a reasonably short and known to be quite good USB-A to micro lead, and we seem to be getting 2 amps out of this QD188 power bank into this one, which is reasonably empty, so this seems to be at least good for 2 amps, I guess. So these are Sync Data Flexible Extension Gooseneck Cable Cord USB 2.0 A male to A female, 1 foot. They're $2.29 each. I bought 2. I destroyed 1. Free shipping, and I got these from Charlius 2014. And so these are today's Postbag items. This is still discharging. I've gone back to discharge and I've set it for 3.3 volts. It hasn't quite got to 3.3 volts yet, so it's not buzzed. That doesn't feel particularly warm. Certainly not the, what was it, 50 or 150 watts that they claim on there. So this needs further testing. That was the pen and the flexible gooseneck. So this icon here takes you through to Patreon. If you want to become a Patreon supporter, click here. And I'm now offering early access to Patreon supporters, anything from 1 to 3 days before I launch my videos generally on YouTube. Another couple of videos up here if you want to watch more of my stuff. And this icon is for subscribing to my channel. Cheerio.